Do you think that students are cliquey?
Sure, I think students have different interests and different hobbies and different likes, and so you tend to group with people that you're similar to. So if you have a group of football players and they all love football and they love talking about football, then I guess you'd have a football clique. Or if you had a group that was into politics, you would have that as well.
All right. Are teachers cliquey?
And let me clarify, when you say cliquey, are you asking if that's a negative, or you have a negative connotation to that?
Well, we were wondering about your opinion on that later.
Do you think clique is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it could be either. I think if you're using, you want to go past, or are you watching? You can go past.
Okay.
If you're referring to a group of people that like to pick on other students and it's a mean clique, then it's bad. But I think if you're just meeting because you have like interests, I wouldn't necessarily call it bad. What was your original question?
Are
teachers
cliquey?
I think that's harder because teachers don't have a lot of time to be cliquey. But if you look at areas in the building, a specific hallway or something like that, like upstairs versus downstairs, or the 600s versus the 500s versus 400s, sure, I think you're with the people that you have time to be with, whether it's during hall breaks or during lunch, things like that. But yeah, I think you're going to have that with adults the same that you would have with students.
Would you think that cliquiness is like a product of the environment, or is it just human nature?
I think it's human nature. I think the environment definitely promotes it. If you have access to it, I think definitely you'll be more cliquey. But I think by nature you want to be around people that you have like interests with, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a political belief, or religious belief, philosophical belief. Sure, you don't want to hang around with people that you have nothing in common with, that you don't agree with. But definitely the environment that you're around could promote that or perpetuate it.
Do you think that guys or girls are more cliquey?
In general, or are you talking about high school students or adults?
Just from your observation.
Just in general.
Yeah.
I think it's probably equal. I think girls get I think there's more negative connotation to girl cliques than there are guys cliques. I think if guys are cliquey, then it's just, they're just guys being guys and they want to talk about guy things. If girls do it, I think because of the social dynamic, you have more of the, call it mean girl effect that could come out of that. So I think it's equal. I think you have equal clickiness, if that's a word. But definitely girls, it's a double standard. I think girls get more negative.
Would you say that connotation and those stereotypes are a product of the media coverage, or like movies made about like cliques, and if they're accurate or not?
Sure, I think that's a great example. If you ever watched the movie Animal House, guys in a fraternity trashing a house and being boys, that's celebrated as something that is a positive thing in society. Where you have the alternate movie to that is Mean Girls, and that's a huge negative. And then you have the media that plays that up as well. You had the sorority that had some hazing issues with some girls just a couple weeks ago. It was a huge deal, but the fraternity that pushed all of its pledges to get alcohol poisoning, that was like, oh man, shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have pushed it that far. And that was about it. So I definitely think the media plays into that double standard, into that stereotype.
Do you think it's accurate, the portrayal that they give?
I think all stereotypes have some truth to it. I think that's why they're effective. Do I think it's accurate? No, I don't think that you can lump people in just because they belong to a clique, or because they belong to a fraternity, or because they're in a sorority. Or I don't think you want to pigeonhole them. But yeah, sure, there's always an element of truth to the stereotype. Otherwise, it wouldn't apply. It wouldn't stick.
Do you have anything else?
What do you know about Tupac and Biggie?
What do you mean? What do I know about them?
Well, what can you tell us about them, just in general?
Okay, you've got an East Coast, West Coast rap rivalry between the two. Tupac is killed in '97, I think. I can't remember which one was killed first. I think Tupac was killed first, and then Biggie was killed in response to that, supposedly. This is all hypothetical. And that was the situation as it existed. Both of them were very, very mainstream as far as rap goes in the '90s. And they were both well respected in the music community, where I don't think you have that with a lot of rap artists now. I think rap is generally garbage, and most people acknowledge that it's garbage. That's why you don't have a lot of rap artists being awarded, ACMs and things like that. But those two were pretty revolutionary. I don't know if that's the right word, but pretty revolutionary for rap music at the time. I mean, you had a handful of rap artists. You had Snoop, and you had Dr. Dre, and you had Grandmaster Flash, and some of the older ones. But they were the big iconic members of that. And I think maybe why they were killed is probably a bigger part of their legacy than their music, unfortunately.
I think that's it. Yeah. So thank you.